Good afternoon, Realtor family and friends. Hopefully over the past week, you were able to spend some really great time with your family. Great to see you again. I'm sure it was different this Labor Day, but still good in this new normal. And maybe you're actually able to celebrate an authentic Derby winner. That was different as well. However, the Derby was run. We had a winner that paid off actually much better than the favorite would have. It reminds me a bit of our year. We're out of the gates running hard. The favorite things that we would do to have a really great year, that's what we were doing. And as it often happens, a change came. This change obviously was called pandemic. But realtors, you've proven to be resilient. And we're now headed toward a strong finish. How have we done it? With a spirit of never quitting, doing what we have to do as we head strongly toward the finish line. So thank you for doing what we needed to do to stay central with both older and new, bolder ideas. Today, our presidential appointed group wanted to make sure that we were being as inclusive and focused as possible, seeing that what new ways, bold ways, as I said, our young members, our YPNs, how are they surviving as real estate professionals? Not only surviving, but also thriving. Our YPN members are an extremely diverse and important part of our KYR membership, and we at KYR are committed to their involvement and success. They are the now and the future of our business. So thanks again, Megan, and happy birthday for your commitment, for working with our YPNs, and to the panelists, Hannah Porter, Carter Martin Jr., Dustin Gilbert, and YPN Vice Chair Alicia Huff, and Chair Jason Scolf. Let's find out what they've been up to. Realtor family, it's time for the YPN Takeover.
All right, guys. Well, speaking of YPN, you know, that acronym has come across a few different tables. You see it a lot, but a lot of people don't quite understand what YPN stands for. The technical name of it is Young Professionals Network, but that is not all that we do. YPN extends out to anyone in the realtor family, not just the young agents. But we do have a charge. You know, our charge is to raise up leadership from young agents, and not just young as in age, just young at heart or young to the business. We want to lift those up and find new leaders for the YPN. But some of the things that we do isn't just leadership. We do volunteer stuff. Alicia, explain a little bit about some of the volunteer stuff that the YPN does across the state.
Hey, everybody. So we have really tried to focus our efforts. Unfortunately, with COVID, we have been delayed in a lot of things that we had planned, but our whole idea for is to enrich our communities and put more back into our communities by helping the homeless shelters and purchasing gifts for Angel Tree, just doing things. We do a lot on our local level and are trying to bring those ideas to collaborate with agents across the state to contribute to all the communities that we serve. So any kind of volunteer work, Habitat for Humanity, Ronald McDonald House, we've helped in so many different ways. Also with, like I said, homeless shelter, trying to stay involved and give back in every way that we can. So did I leave any off, Jason?
No, I think you're good. Carter, in Louisville, what are some of the, you know, local charities and stuff that the YPN has contributed to?
Well, Jason, I have not actually, because COVID, I have not actually gotten to connect with the Louisville YPN. Just as I was joining and trying to get involved, kind of shut everything down. So I'm not as informed on that as I probably could or should be.
I got you. Dustin, is there anything going down in Western Kentucky as far as volunteerism through your association? You're on mute.
There we go. Sorry. I think overall, our United Way of the Pennyroyal, which covers four of our counties here, covers 20 partner agencies. So right now, our local board is even collecting canned goods for them to have, because people are still using that service as well. United Way is still kicking off their campaign, and we're trying to help with that locally, just to help them kind of bridge that gap that people have seen with the COVID that's hit, and the additional people coming in to ask for assistance.
Nice. Some of the things that go on with the YPN is, we talk about professionalism a lot inside of our groups when we're talking meeting, networking, which is a big topic, with a lot of people around the state. You hear a lot of things about how young agents need to be more professional, but that's one of our charges, is to try to be professional. Carter, what is your definition of professionalism?
My definition of professionalism is just carrying myself in such a way, or carrying yourself in such a way that shows your skill and aptitude for the business that you are taking part in. And it can cover a wide array of things, just having knowledge, being knowledgeable about the things that you are doing. Also, sometimes your attire, your presentation of yourself, and things of that nature. So it's kind of a wide array of what I would talk about professionalism, mostly though competence in our field.
Which I would like to point out, a couple of our panelists do have their broker's license. Hannah just got hers recently this year. Hannah, how would you describe professionalism?
So I would say that it is about respect for both, the clients and then also one another. I think that's the biggest part. So being professional can be as simple as returning calls to other agents, or, I think that's kind of the gap that we need to bridge as far as the new agents with the older agents, and then how we connect, because maybe some agents prefer a phone call versus a text message. So having that respect for how one another function, and being professional and respecting that, and kind of helping things go smoothly for all parties involved. And so that the clients and our buyers and sellers can see that we do conduct ourselves professionally.
Justin, speaking of that bridge, how do you bridge between some of the older agents and newer agents in your area?
I think this could be a harder one, just because sometimes a seasoned agent that's done it for a long time doesn't want to share tips and tricks with you, because it's business. But I think overall, just how you approach that person, and how you can ask them, hey, I really would like some insight or some help. If you would be mind mentoring me, and keeping it that professional, where you're not trying to look like you're trying to steal business from somebody, but you're trying to learn and grow, and someone that's done it really well the last 10 or 15 years. You just want to have insight on how they're doing it. So that kind of approach can be beneficial to both parties.
And the YPN, especially like our Facebook page, that is one of the things we want to do. We want to share those tips, those tricks between different age groups and different agents. So, get on there if you want to see some of those as we move forward throughout the year and years to come. Alicia, a lot of things that people want to hear from the YPN is some of those new tips and tricks. Do you have anything that you use right now in your business that's helped you kind of manage the COVID era, as far as getting in front of your clients and that kind of stuff?
Mostly reaching out to people, clients, other agents, just collaborating with other agents to share ideas. I think is really important. Surrounding yourself with other people that are hustling and that are busy just keeps you motivated to do more. And making those phone calls and text messages, reaching out, saying, hey, how can I help you? I know this is tough for a lot of people, so is there any way I can help you? Showing people how much you care is everything right now, I believe. So I think that is probably the best thing I've been doing, and had positive responses from, just showing people that you care.
Carter, do you got any new tools in the toolbox?
Basically, it's this thing called Zoom, man. I was familiar with, some of the FaceTimes of the iPhone and Google Duo and things of that nature. But with this new COVID era, Zoom has really been my newest tool. I mean, everybody's using it. It has actually allowed me to, it's crazy, fit more in, right? Because I don't have to travel for a lot of my meetings. I know I'm in my car now, and I'm usually always in there, but I can have more meetings. And with this thing where people are not really wanting to get close to each other, the social distancing and things of that nature, I'm still able to have meaningful face-to-face buyer counselings and things of that nature with Zoom. So that's been my exciting tool. I mean, I know it's not a big secret to anybody now, but that has been definitely my exciting tool to implement with my clients, and it's been a great tool.
Hannah, have you found anything useful recently as far as tools for the trade?
Yeah, I think that with everything going on with COVID right now, it has made the public more receptive to virtual tours and video walkthroughs and things of that nature, where you're not wasting everybody's time. So I could walk through a house and say, okay, I have several people that want to see that. I'm going to do a walkthrough and record and explain everything and then send it to those people. And then they can decide, hey, we do want to look in person, or that's probably not going to work for us. So that saves me showing, 3 different times in one day, just the one time, and then we can see if anybody's serious about it. So that, and then also FaceTime calls if they don't want to get out. So it, like Carter said, it's just the technology has really saved us all a lot of time, and we can still connect with our buyers and our sellers, but just use our time more wisely.
But when COVID first hit and they started shutting things down, I ordered a Matterport camera, which is a 3D tour system. If anybody doesn't know what a Matterport video is, we're doing a RPAC YPN scavenger hunt at the moment. We can give you details on that. You can go through and see what a Matterport video looks like and play a good game at the same time. So now, are you all using, Dustin, we'll start with you. Are you using any of these new tools or anything to market for new listings?
I would say overall, social media is always the biggest thing. I use Back at You Media. We have a good deal with NAR. You can do $15 a month and get the basic. They do estimated landing pages where people can click that and type in their name, phone number, email address, their address, get a value. Kind of gives you that connection. That way you have someone you can reach out to. It kind of gives them a time frame when they want to sell. So you can put them on a drip campaign. You can get them in there and mail them some things, call them and talk to them. So that's automatic coming through your social media sites. Reaching out to FSBOs, just offering, this is right now with the market the way it is, you're seeing a lot of people trying to sell on their own. So I'm not really soliciting and trying to say, hey, let me list your house. I'm reaching out and saying, hey, can I answer any questions for you? Do you need any help with anything? Not trying to, get them to list with me at that time, but just open that door and trying to build a relationship to where, they can call me if they need help or want to talk about who should I send this person for a mortgage. Just trying to establish that connection so later on, if something does happen, I've already developed a relationship and they can call me and say, hey, I'm ready to list my house.
Carter, how is your listings going?
Listings have been pretty good, Jason. I still like with my listings to get out there and lay my physical eyes on the house. But I have done a lot of the first meetings, just trying to figure out, what their actual game plan is and their time frame and things of that nature. I've done a lot of those meetings initially on Zoom, but I still like to get out to the house to do my, my walkthroughs and things. But listings have been good. I thought that in the very beginning, I had some problems with some sellers that were really uneasy about people coming in their homes. So we try to do some of the virtual showings and things of that nature, but it seems to have eased up a little bit on that. So,
Hannah, speaking of listings, are you all doing open houses in your area? And if you are, what are some of those practices that you all are doing to keep people safe?
I have not really seen that many open houses currently. And I think with the current market that we're in, there's not much time to have an open house. It seems that as soon as you list it, within a few days, you have multiple offers or, it sells within a week. So we haven't really, the market's been really good over here in Ashland. So things have been selling without us needing to have the open houses. And as far as I've seen, there haven't been that many going on, if any, right now.
Alicia, are your agents doing open houses very frequently?
There are some, but and I've heard that they've been successful. There are people stopping at them, but of course taking all the necessary precautions with the mask, removing shoes, using sanitizer, and of course restricting how many people are in the house at the same time. But the ones that have had them have had people show up. So,
well, I know at the builder that I represent, we were doing open houses for a little while, and everybody had to take their temperature, had to fill out a form, had to wear a mask. We've since stopped doing open houses, but while we were doing it, most people in Lexington that I've seen are doing the same. They have COVID form, they have mask available, those type of things. Are you all carrying PPE stuff around, Alicia?
I was going to say, I've seen a lot of agents more so doing the virtual open houses. So where they're, posting their, like doing a live video on Facebook or, and having people tune in that way and ask questions and look at it. So I think that's probably more common now.
Gotcha.
To do virtual.
Dustin, what's going on in your area?
I haven't seen a lot of public open houses. We do often have realtor open houses. The realtors come in there and take a look at the property, and those precautions are being looked at. Come in, look at the house, enter in for a gift card, things like that. But the way the market is right now, things are going so quickly. We have a new subdivision that's coming up. There's about 11 houses available in that, and we're looking at those. But I mean, like we said, but things are going pretty quick, so not much time to open it to the public because it's gone in a day or two.
So with things going so quickly, Carter, are you running into a lot of multiple offers?
It seems like every time, Jason. I've started to, we used to talk to our buyers about what would happen, in multiple offer situations. But now it's a must. I'm setting those expectations up front so that they understand, number one, we might want to go in and really do our crunch our numbers up front and put in our best foot forward, because you don't always get a highest and best scenario, right? They're getting so many offers that they're just going through them and picking the best ones a lot of times. And so, yes, it seems like as a matter of fact, I know every offer I've written in the last few months has been a multiple offer, and I'm talking, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 offers. It seems like I'm writing, maybe 3, 4 offers per buyer right now. And but I'm setting those expectations with the clients up front. And I think that's the most important thing you can do, is set those expectations up front. And so that they understand kind of what's going on as well. So they're not mad at you when you thinking that you didn't do all you could do to help them get the offer. So.
Anna, are you seeing the same?
Yes, we have been also. I know that I was helping my brother actually find a house, and they weren't going to allow showings till the next day on it. They just listed it, and we actually put in an offer before we even saw it. And the next day they received 6 other offers. So, I mean, and that's just a market that we haven't really had around here until all this COVID stuff hit, and it's been kind of wild. But again, what Carter said, just kind of tempering expectations and saying, in advance, hey, you may only get one shot at this. So you need to put your best foot forward and really think about if this is the house, or, on the listing side, like, okay, do you want to wait till all the offers come in, or do you just want to take one as it comes in, so it's a lot of conversations to be had now.
Dustin, are you all seeing the same out in Western Kentucky, and how are you preparing your buyers for those situations?
I would say the same thing. I mean, as far as the buyer, it's just that conversation, making sure that they know, like they've said, this could be your one chance. You need to come in your best to make your offer the prettiest, so that way, when it gets looked at, it's the one that gets taken. You don't have time to really sit here and try to play, a low ball offer and see if they're going to counter back and meet you halfway, because another offer can knock you out within minutes. On the selling side, the same thing. I had a listing that was on for 12 hours, 7 showings, 4 offers. It was gone. And it's just the nature of the beast right now. So it's hard for a buyer to be unsure because especially the first time home buyer, they're, this is all new to them. They have never looked at a house before, and they're like, I don't know if I want it or not. I'm like, we have to make a decision right now because it's going to be gone tomorrow. And that's a harder process to get them through, but as long as you can prepare them and get them down the road, then they should be good.
Yeah, I agree. In the Lexington area, we're seeing quite a bit too. Are you all seeing, Alicia, are you seeing frustration with your clients as far as the multiple offers go, the sellers? I mean, how are they reacting to it?
Absolutely. A lot of frustration. I have buyers that have missed out on 6 and 7, 8 homes due to the multiple offers. I think especially what I've learned is communication is absolutely key. You might think that offering, your terms, offering to take it as is would be appealing to the seller, when then the seller might think that as is, they're going to walk away without having to, be bound to the contract. So there's different terms that I think the sellers and the buyers are not always on the same page as. So I'm seeing that with agents in our office, and then me personally. We just had one this week that missed out, and they had fantastic terms, but the seller, they wanted a different inspection option so that they were locked in, because we're seeing a lot of people get caught up in the multiple offer situation. They pay too much and then they back out. We're seeing that a lot. So making sure that the other agent understands why your terms are the way they are, and to see what terms they expect, to get, that will help you have a stronger offer. And also talking about the expectations, setting those expectations is so important. I have a sheet I actually got from Terry Watson, which is a national speaker, with all of the expectations that a buyer and a seller could possibly need to know. And of course, when you're meeting with them, it's hard to remember all of them. So I give every client I work with, whether it's a buyer or seller, this sheet of expectations. And it says what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what to expect. So if anybody wants a copy of that, just send me a message and I'll email it to you. But it's very helpful. And he's met with agents all across the country, and they've all contributed. So that I can't even think of anything that's left off. So it's an important document.
Now, speaking of all the multiple offers and agents and that kind of stuff, Carter, are you setting expectations for other agents before the multiple offer situations? How's your communications going between agents?
So if I'm the listing agent, say, I try to make sure that I let any agents know that have shown the house, and especially those who have shown any kind of interest, asked any kind of questions after they're showing. I try to let them know that, hey, don't have anything in hand, but I've had 4 people say they're sending them in. So I try to keep those lines of communication open, mainly to be fair and professional to the other agents. With all these multiple offers, it's kind of nice to know when they're writing their offer that they're going up against 4 or 5 other offers, right? And then it also helps, my seller, because hopefully everybody else is going to be more competitive. And when I'm the buyer's agent, I really, if there's a house that my client is interested in, I really stay in good communication with that agent. I try not to leave it up to them to remember to let me know that they've got multiple offers. So I'll check in maybe once or twice while we're discussing offers and comps and things like that, just to see, what's come in. So communication is key there. It solves a lot of issues.
Dustin, same for you all as far as the communication between agents, how things going there with the multiple offers?
I would say the same thing. I think communication is the key, because you want to let them know, hey, I've got 5 showings today, and one person said that they were interested, or they're going to see it again this afternoon, so that I know I'm coming back and saying, hey, I got an offer. I know you showed it yesterday. Is your buyer interested? Because as a buyer's agent, I would like the information back to me. Let me know, hey, my buyer might be interested, and I can work through this. So that way everybody knows, because you don't want to get down the road and then all of a sudden, an agent called, well, you told me my buyer wrote an offer, because you want to do what's best for your seller, but that communication is going to keep you, happy with all the other agents as well. Gotcha.
With all the hustle and bustle this summer, I know it's been pretty busy for everyone across the board. Hannah, what are some of those things that you do to deal with mental exhaustion?
I think really a big thing is just putting your phone away. I think that you have to have that time to kind of not think about work for a little bit, because you all know the buyers and the sellers, they'll keep you up all night if it was in their hands. They will text you and call you. They don't care what time of day it is. And that's just, it comes with the territory. But at some point, you do have to have that mental break so that you don't burn out. And in this kind of environment where you are getting calls and texts constantly, it's easy to get burnt out. So I think that every now and again, maybe taking a Saturday to say, hey, you know what, I can't show you on Saturday, but I'll show you on Sunday. You know, taking that day to spend time to yourself or with your family or whomever, so that you feel like that you're not just working constantly and spinning your wheels.
My wife must agree with you, because she poked her head around and did the whole eyeball to eyeball thing just a second ago. So, Alicia, what are you doing to handle some of the stress?
I bought a boat. So I retreat to the lake where there's no cell service and recharge my batteries that way. And it's amazing. I've loved it. I don't know what I'm going to do through the winter. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll get back to you.
Carter, what do you do to relieve stress? I think I've seen a video.
Well, yeah, I break bricks. So I stay pretty busy. Thankfully, I have a team, though, so I have some agents that can help out to relieve some of the stress of having to run out to every house that comes on the market that day, right? So we can kind of spread that around some. But yeah, I've got Taekwondo, and I've got that block of time on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays that I just won't do anything else during it. And that is my time to go and kick something, hit something, break something, and just de-stress. So that's what I do.
Dustin, you got anything?
I think overall, just I spend time with my family. What my wife has told me, you can turn your phone off. It will turn back on later. So she has to remind me that you can turn it off for a little bit, and it's going to be there when you come back to it. So I think just taking that time, and you know, because with small kids, you have to be able to take time with your.
Awesome. Well, so get back into some of that YPN discussion. You know, at the state level, what can some of the state leaders do that you all feel like we could include YPN more? Alicia, do you have any ideas on things that we could happen at the state level where we can include YPN?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think one important point is I think some people are hesitant. They think that, you know, younger realtors, newer realtors are just coming in trying to make changes to everything. And I think it's important to get on to get the message out that we are just here to offer new ideas maybe, and to see how we can help and contribute to the association. So I think.
Well, I think one big misconception is that we are there to change things. We're there to learn, you know, a lot too. It's not just about change. Yes, we offer ideas, but it's not just you know, as this is a town hall takeover, but we're not there to take over. We're there to learn. And, you know, a lot of times that gets misconstrued as soon as a young person shows up. So, you know, that's one of those definitions and one of those misconceptions we'd love to change. So we can have more people show up to the state convention and that kind of stuff. Carter, what are some of the things that we can do at the local level to get more involved in YPN?
Well, I think it's just from the state level getting more involved in the local level, or just
Both.
Everybody?
Yeah, just how do you get more involved?
Right. So from the state level, I think we've talked about this some on the committee, right, is just to make sure that we're communicating between the different YPNs across the state. You know, if the local YPNs could really use the state YPN as a funnel or as a conduit to reach the other local associations, so that we can really get to know each other and really take advantage of the networking and things of that nature. And from the state level, it's just us making sure that we get out to all the other YPN events. You know, I was really excited at the beginning of this committee year, thinking, hey, we were going to get to go to some of the Lexington YPN events and have you guys come and join some of the GLAR ones, and, you know, just all over. I don't want to miss any areas, but that kind of got stomped. but we can get to that just to make sure that we're doing the best that we can do everywhere. And then to go back to your last question with the leadership and things of that nature, just when they're having projects and activities and things, just for them to, make sure that the YPN committees know about them so that we can help mobilize and help accomplish any of the goals that they're trying. Like right now, another plug for our scavenger hunt, right? We're doing that to help get monies into our PAC. And that's a great opportunity for us and a great opportunity for our PAC. But there's other things that are going to be going on that YPN would be a great partner with. And so that's what leadership could do, is just look for those opportunities to help to get us to partner with them so that we can get in there and learn. And then they can also learn from us a little bit as well.
Gotcha. Dustin, what about your all's area? As far as YPN goes, how could we help get more involved down there and get more agents involved?
I think overall, I wouldn't say it's a newer concept, but in our area, we do have a group with the chamber, so there is some interaction there. I think sometimes it is harder for a realtor to get involved because they're always so busy, but you have to make time for that because it comes back to that community involvement and being involved in whatever you want, whatever your niche is, whatever you want to help with. So I think overall just the collaboration and knowing that we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but sometimes our ideas can make it a little bit shinier.
Right. Hannah, so let's talk about next year. Let's squash 2020 for a minute and get this thing over with. What are some of the things that you're starting now that may be preparing you for 2021?
I think that I have realized through all of this, like how important, like your online presence is, or your Facebook, your Instagram, those kind of, to draw people in and to get more buyers and sellers. I've had so many messages on Facebook, so many more now that I've been posting more regularly and trying to do that, because I'm not getting that face-to-face interaction that I was getting before. I feel like a lot of people have been reaching out on that. And so I'm trying to practice and make myself do that more so that I can reach more people without actually having to see them face to face. And again, about saving myself time and everyone else time so that we're not, just wasting everybody's time as far as, hey, do you know if you're ready to sell yet? Okay, here, we can talk about this, through a phone call as opposed to meeting face to face every time. Now, face to face is definitely the best method, but in times like these, we can use it to our advantage, I would think. So next year, I will probably be using the same kind of strategy of talking to people first through a Zoom call or through a FaceTime call or something before actually meeting face to face and spending the time, like Carter said, driving there and then having the meeting. And so I think that will help me streamline the process next year.
Alicia, anything you're doing for 2021 or any of your agents?
I think this is being forced to slow down has really given me an opportunity to reconsider what I'm doing, what I need to focus on, what I need to put more effort toward. And so I'll be going into the next year, like, what are my goals? What's my mission? And what are the things that I'm going to do to make that happen? And because it's so easy to get caught up in doing a little bit of everything and helping here, helping there. So I think refocusing and just being more in tune to what is most important, prioritizing things. So, just setting those goals. I meet with all of our agents and go through all this with them as well and set goals and make sure that we get rid of all the things that aren't productive and focus on what is. So that's what I'm going to do, refocus.
Dustin, what are you going? You got some tips for new things to do in 2021?
I would say the same thing. I mean, you can look at overall, like, what have I been doing in person? And now that, all this has happened, we've seen, what can we do virtually? What can we do not so much in person? Because you can save time, you can save energy, you can get things done. So you can refocus, things on your list that you can get done differently in the next year. And I think overall, just like you said, just taking time to focus. And this year really has slowed everybody down to look at what's important. And that way you can refocus and get everything planned out more efficiently.
Carter, got anything?
Yeah, my main thing is really the same thing I do in every year, Jason, to get ready for the next year. And that's just staying in touch with my clients and my sphere. With everybody being stuck in for this whole year, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't welcome a telephone call to just say, hey, how are you doing? And it sounds simple, but that's me getting ready for my next year, keeping top of mind with my clients. I've also been trying to tweak some of my systems. I've been trying to get more education in and things of that nature to better prepare me to be a better agent, a better team leader for next year.
Carter, I'm right there with you. I try to make at least 3 to 4 phone calls every day. It's a little easier during an RPAC fundraiser to make those phone calls because you have lots to talk about. So, Hannah, one of those things, I know you have 3 beautiful little girls at home. How are you balancing the world of COVID with the kids at home, schools, work? How are you balancing some of that?
I think it's kind of back to what Alicia said, where it's about prioritizing. So it's, I know that my morning is going to be kindergarten during these hours. So we do school and get that done, and then my day can begin. So I kind of have to, again, temper expectations with clients and say, hey, you know what? With everything going on, we've got school from this time to this time. I can call you back right after, give me a little bit and I'll get back to you. And then following up and make sure that I am actually doing that so they know that they can count on me. So it is about prioritizing and then also making the time. So finding out what is going to be important, what's going to help build your business, but in the smartest way. So work smarter, not harder. And again, with technology, we can use that to our advantage. But whenever we do have that downtime, if it's quiet around the house, I'll do handwritten letters and say, hey, I know you've been in your house for a little over a year now. How's it going? Hope everything's great. And, if people are at home and they get a letter, it's exciting, because it's not reinventing the wheel. I'm sure lots of agents do that, but it's something that I've kind of made time to do with everything going on.
Dustin, how are you balancing things?
It was difficult at first. I have 3 kids and my wife's a teacher. So now they're all back in school and they're still virtual. And so I've got a kindergartner and a 2nd grader and a middle schooler. So there's just a lot going on with the rotation of the kindergartner and going from this house to grandparents' house, things like that. So it's just really prioritizing and basically looking at your week, planning out your week, filling in time slots of knowing, this is the time I can work on this, I can work on that. But I think if you plan out your week, at least on Sunday or Saturday, whenever you have time to look at the next week, that's going to give you really optimize your time, because with everything that's going on, you may have to help with school, you may have to help, with this and that, or go pick up a kid or drop a kid off, things like that. You got to plan in time to make sure you're taking care of your clients because they need that same attention too.
Alicia, I know you've got some baseball going on and school and work. How are you doing it?
It's not easy around here. It's chaotic. We have 4 kids here, and making sure everybody's on task and checking in when they need to be and trying to get work done, get everybody to sports is difficult. But so I'm more organized than I was as I'm trying to focus on prioritizing my day and being organized, but I'm not doing it very well. I'm getting by, I would say. So it's a challenge, but just being more organized to try to stay on task. And I coach our agents, so it helps me to keep me accountable because I'm trying to get them to do their thing. So that helps me have an accountability partner.
Carter, what is one thing you do every day that makes you a better realtor?
I get up and make a phone call. Just reaching out to my clients, and it's usually I'm very social media heavy, and so I get on Facebook not to just play around all the time, but I get on there to look for opportunities to reach out to somebody in my sphere. So that's something that I do every morning. And one of my first things is getting on Facebook and looking for opportunities to call somebody, send somebody a note, say congratulations, happy birthday, anything, just something to stay in touch with my sphere every day.
Hannah, same question.
So yeah, the same thing. You know, I always try to, if I have any clients that I'm currently work with, that I always try to reach out to them, maybe not every single day, but at least every other day, and say, hey, do you need anything from me? What can I do to help you? Do you have any questions on anything? And just kind of follow up. And I make a list, a daily list of things that I need to check off. I usually do it at bed when I'm laying there. I think, okay, what needs to happen tomorrow? What needs to get done? And I make sure and complete that entire list the next day. And so that way I'm staying on top of the ball, and I'm not, you know, falling behind on anything, and staying the course.
Gotcha. Dustin, you do anything every day to make you a better realtor?
And I think overall, like I said, just you have to plan everything out. So making that list, making sure you're not missing, you know, someone or talking to someone, just making those personal touches with your sphere, with your clients, maybe trying to reach out to potential clients or whatever your niche may be, that group.
Gotcha. Alicia, how about you? Anything that you do?
Every day, I reach out to our agents and teach them and help them in some way. So that brings me joy to be able to help other people. So I'm constantly focusing on that, and sending out the note cards, just like Hannah said. When I see people being successful on social media, or I'm constantly encouraging those people and telling them that they're inspiring me, and that I'm proud of them, they're doing well. So constantly just reaching out to people and encouraging them and saying kind things to people, which comes back to you. And
I think at the beginning of COVID, I think, you know, a lot of people started just getting up and doing the whole pajamas, the Zoom, not really getting ready for work. That's the one thing I do every day is I get up, I still take my run, I still get ready for work, I still show up at the desk. And, you know, I think that's really big. If you're there to work every day, it's going to happen. If you sit around the house waiting for stuff to happen to you, it may not actually be there. So, you know, those are some of the things that I do every day. As far as education goes, because education is big with the YPN. That's one of our things is the more educated, the better. What is one designation, and I will start with Alicia, that you would recommend agents getting?
I guess the commitment to excellence. How about that one? Is that a designation? Leadership KYR also is now a designation. So I would encourage both of those.
Okay. Carter?
Well, I was going to do the C2EX, the commitment to excellence. That's a great one. But also, I would say maybe in this time and age, the At Home with the Diversity certification would be a good one while you have time to go through and get that.
Dustin, what about you?
I would say GRI. I think that really gives you a really broad focus on everything. You're able to see all the different courses, and there's lots of different things you can learn. Usually with the GRI, you have to get another designation as well to kind of give it the electives, so it kind of gives you a double dip. But I mean, I think overall it really helps you with the understanding of everything in real estate.
Miss Hannah, any of your favorite designations to get or education classes?
I think that this year, especially, any type of law course that you can take has just been crucial, because there's been so many changes for 2020 that, like, any class that you can possibly take. I mean, I took a law course on Zoom, and I mean, you can just get so much out of it because things have changed so drastically in 2020, and it's hard if you're used to learning in person to kind of get used to the Zoom classes. But once you're into it, I feel like the way that they've done it this year has really been beneficial, especially, like I said, with the law changes. It's important to stay on top of that, I would say.
Awesome. Miss Megan put in the chat the link to our I Spy, our RPAC YPN fundraiser. If you all want to click on that, it'd be lovely to get in. Lester, Lamont, Stephen, you all have anything that you all want to ask the panel as we're cutting down to the last couple of minutes?
Well, I would just say thank you all for I mean, just what you all are having to endure right now as young professionals, young parents, young, we never had to do all that with this, with the pandemic. So that adds another layer onto the already stressful job you all have as real estate professionals. And so just hats off to you for that and still being able to thrive in this, this environment. And then I'll just also say that, real estate is just, I've been doing it for a long time, and it's just constantly changing, and I'm learning. If I'm open to learning, I'm learning all the time. And I learn a lot from other agents and sharing best practices. And it's great to hear all the things that you all are doing. And I've been taking some notes myself. So I hope that anybody that ever needs anything would feel free and feel comfortable calling on another fellow realtor, and humble yourself as I do, and ask other people for advice and help along the journey. So thanks for it's great Zoom call. Thank you all.
Thanks, Lamont.
I appreciate you all just simply being here on the call, and you've done a tremendous job. I can remember not this year's strategic plan, but I can remember 3 years ago when we did a strategic plan and asking one question. I looked around the room and I asked everyone else to look around the room, and I said, okay, tell me what's missing. And what was missing at that point were you, YPN members. And so we openly embrace your involvement. And Jason, I know that you spoke up last year, and sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, but it's most important that you do speak up. And so thank you for having done that. And it put you in a position of leadership where you are right now. And we said that we would support you, and we're doing that. And if we're not doing enough, let us know what else we can do. And thank you for the tips that you've given us as well. We think that we're busy, but like Lamont said, and like you all spoke to the truth, you all are really busy. We're taking care of your family and your work and all the things that you're doing, and teams and all that. So again, thank you just for giving your time today to share with us your thoughts on how we can do better and how you can share. If you can share with us, certainly we can share with you, and let's make sure that we always do that as well. Thanks. And you've done a great job. You have replaced Lamont.
Amen. I go take a nap now. I got to have dinner at Piccadilly here in 20 minutes.
Jason, I just very quickly, because I know we're about out of time, and those guys said it really well, because I have 2 YPs myself that are my kids, and the amount of stress, especially on the one with the family, oh my gosh, and doing your job, and this job particularly, so much harder, and trying to get kids educated. So echo all of that. One of the hardest things an organization the size of ours and heterogeneous organizations have a more difficult time, maybe an easier time, I don't know, but this is a homogeneous association. I mean, trying to satisfy the needs of the spectrum that we have, from the youngest to the oldest and everything in between, and the needs. It's really a challenge, and being willing to be patient as we try to understand what the needs of young professionals are, I think has been really important, and identifying those. And then you all, as Lester said, speak up and help us figure out how to address the things that we should to help you as you are on your journey as realtors, younger and maturing in the industry. We want to do that. So thanks for giving us that, and really being part of this and making sure that you're inserting yourselves in all the various things that are going on in this organization, because we're going to be a lot better for it. So thanks so much.
I'd like to say thank you to all the panelists that got on here today. I know you took time out of your day to do it. Carter, Alicia, Hannah, Dustin, thank you all so much. Everybody, if you want to stay in touch with the YPN, we do have a new Facebook page we launched this month. It's under Kentucky Realtors YPN, so if you get on there and look. and add us as your friend. We will keep you up to date on things that are going on all across the state. And to everybody, have a great week.
Can I add something before we're
Yes,
finished?
ma'am.
Is that okay? I think it's very important for everyone to understand that while our mission is to bring up new leadership, younger agents, getting more younger agents involved, it is truly an all-inclusive group. So any events that we have, any kind of activity that goes along here is for anyone of any age. So I think some people feel like they shouldn't attend or they shouldn't do this or that because they're age, and that's not it at all. So I
You
think
just want us to pay for your drinks.
right.
Well, that is a plus.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll be honest, one of the people I've learned from over, my short 5 years in real estate is Al Evans. And he's really, taught me a lot. And a lot of that's through those networking events. I would have never met him probably if it wasn't for those networking events. And, we have a good relationship now. And I think that, hopefully in 2021, we can get back to some of those networking events so we can, learn from each other, which is, the key to all of this.
Great job, Jason. Everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Everybody have a great week.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Everybody.
Thank you.